Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and welcome to the interior of Alaska.
I'm gonna be camping in the snow without a tent for the next 3 days.
I'll be building survival shelters, sleeping under animal hides, making bushcraft projects next to the fire, and cooking amazing food.
Well, we've had a really weird winter here in Alaska. It's been cold, then hot, then cold again. I got myself pretty wet. Looks like there's a little ditch or creek here. Been driving around for about 2.5 hours. Think it's about time to look for a place to camp. It's gonna be pitch black by 4 p.m. today. I have about an hour and a half before sunset. There's an invasive beetle called the Japanese wiping out a lot of the spruce trees in this area. Seems like a lot of wood, but it's not. Get them deep and give them a good shake test. Yeah, that'll hold. Time to get warm. The key is getting this teepee structure just right with the driest kindling you can find. Once it catches, we'll be warm. Got to get a fire going and dry my pants off. We call this the drying circle. The heat will pull the remaining moisture from the center of these logs, making them much more efficient. Looked at my clock and it's 7:30, so just about 5 hours to cut down all these trees and build this shelter. Getting these frozen logs stacked up really helps reflect the heat back into the shelter It makes a huge difference in this cold. There we go. I brought some caribou hides to sleep on. Got to pack it tight, otherwise the melt hole just burns right through the bottom of the pot. Tell you what, I really like these heat reflectors. You build a wall behind your fire, it absorbs the heat of the fire and then reflects it back towards you. For dinner, I've got moose fajitas. I prepped up all the meat and seasonings. Now just gonna put it in the pot of boiling water. Moose fajita with a little bit of guacamole. Oh, I'm hungry. Ah, nothing beats a hot drink when it's this cold out. Keeps the spirits up. I'm gonna sit here and eat some chocolate covered almonds and dry my boots out. All right, it's time to cuddle up with my buffalo hide. Go to sleep. All right, guys, I'll see you in the morning. Hey, good morning. Morning, everyone. Time for some breakfast. Morning, good morning. Just a little bit of oatmeal left. Okay, let's get this day started. It's about 9:30 in the morning. The sun's gonna rise in about 45 minutes. This thatching only does a marginal job, but once you get a little bit of snow on top of it, then it's absolutely airtight. Now that I got the shelter built, and I don't think it's really necessary, so I'm going to use that for my firewood tonight. A friend of mine gave me these hot dogs. I think they're made out of caribou. Excited to try them out. I want to do a little project. I want to build a cooking griddle. So for dinner, I got something special. I got king crab legs. Cheers. This is exactly what I needed. Nothing beats a warm meal when you're out in the winter woods. You wouldn't believe this out here. Oh, my back. I feel like I was run over by a truck. But I'm warm. Listening to an audiobook. Woo. All right. All right.
When it get really cold, my key truck freezes up and won't start. And hopefully it'll start up on me. Ah, sure is nice when things work. Sorry guys, totally messed that up.
Who's a good dog, huh? Hello, my name is Luke Nichols, and this is the My Life Outdoors YouTube channel. And no, you're not imagining things. This is NOT, my YouTube channel. Some of you guys may have heard that Steven's wife was recently diagnosed with cancer. So right now, Steven's got a lot on his plate, taking care of his wife and his 4 kids. Please. So I thought I might step in and do a little YouTube video for him so he can worry about one thing at a time. In the interior of Alaska, and I'm gonna be sleeping in the middle of a snowstorm. I've got about 2 hours to build a shelter and gather enough firewood to... Oh, and because this is Steven's channel, I will be doing a little bit of gear review along the way. So come along for the ride. It's gonna be a good time.
Your destination is on the left.
Man, I am getting a late start today. It's almost 2 o'clock and the sun's gonna set at 4. This snow isn't letting up. I don't know how much longer I can keep this pace. We need shelter soon.
Give the ice the old stomp test. The ice on creeks is really unpredictable. Some places it'll be feet thick and other places it'll be super thin. You just kind of don't know. Oh, look at this. There's an otter right there. See him? Hey, little guy. Look at him. He's scooting on his belly right there. You can see where the water's punched up through the ice and is flowing across the top of the ice. Sketchy stuff, man. We don't want to be over there. The creek's getting really close to frozen over. You can tell right now that there's no dignified way to get down this hill. I burned up a lot of time. It's getting close to sunset. I need to really find a place to camp. It's really hard to gather materials in the dark. Oh, yeah, look at that. I like this root ball. You can see where a big birch tree just tipped over and its roots pulled up and made this wall of dirt. It's a great place to build your shelter. One, because it's a wall that I don't have to make. Another nice part is that area underneath the root ball. You know, that's bare ground. And you can look at it and see what kind of dirt it is. It's a lot of clay and rocks. And birch trees don't grow in swamps. So I know if I build a fire here, it's not gonna thaw out a swamp and turn into a mud hole. There's just tons of dead wood around here, so plenty of fuel for a fire and materials for my shelter. Well, in honor of Steven, I thought I would do a little bit of gear review while I camp. If you guys are looking for a camp saw, hands down the best one on the market is the Agawa. This is the Boreal. They're just indestructible, high quality saws. I've had this thing for years. I only need to change the saw blade about once every year or 2. There's a number of copycats out there now, but this is the original. It's the best. It's hard to emphasize how much of a time crunch I'm in right now. I've got about 2.5 hours before it's dark. So in the next 2 hours, I need to cut enough wood to build my shelter and supply my fire to keep me warm all night long. So what I do is I just gather all the wood I can, throw it in a pile near the shelter. And then if the sun goes down on me, I can sit there and work on it next to the fire instead of wandering around in the dark looking for trees I can't see. There's a lot of dead birch here. Birch trees burn a lot hotter and longer than spruce trees, so I'll need much less birch firewood than I would spruce. Tree came down and knocked my glasses off. Oh, they're somewhere down here, I think. Aha, there they are. Man, they were really buried. All right, I'm gonna put them in my pocket. Well, the birch trees will make good firewood, but I need the spruce trees for my structure. I'm gonna go through and knock all the limbs off the poles. The limbs and scrap pieces go on the fire. The parts I'm going to use to build my shelter, I lean up against the roof wall, let those dry next to the fire so they're nice and warm and dry. Tell you what, guys, it's getting dark quick. I need to put some vigor in my step. I need to get a fire going. It's getting dark. Getting colder than I expected. I have to keep the circulation going in my hands or I'll be in real trouble. The fire isn't enough yet. Once you break it open, you can see the highly flammable wax inside. Crumble this up well to maximize the surface area, then form it into a smalt nest like this. Fire heats this large thermal mass behind me. The heat is absorbed by the ground and the earth wall, radiating back slowly, keeping us warm all night. The earth absorbs the heat, but it also radiates that warmth back out, which is key to staying warm in a survival scenario. Some people prefer the lighter pack, others swear by the heavy-duty gear. Me, I say bring what you trust. It's really up to you out here. Ah, this stuff is frozen solid. There we go. That's really nice. The perfect survival food. Whipped moose fat and cranberries, frozen solid. It melts in your mouth, leaving a burst of energy. To make the akutak, we use bear fat, some mashed berries, and then you whip it vigorously until it aerates. Core temperature is everything out here. A big meal like that provides the fuel we need against the elements. Yeah, that should do it. I can't keep doing this. Every morning it gets worse. I think I finally broke something out here. Oh, this is incredible. Wow. Much better. This is perfect. Look at the springiness here. It compresses easily, but bounces right back. That's key for keeping your back happy out here. These green bows are great insulation, and because they are green, they won't catch fire easily. See? Perfectly safe. That much snow, the bedding is going to be soaked by morning. All right, let's get this silver bullet tarp out and get some heat reflection going. The jinners. This massive root ball acts as our primary heat reflector, capturing all the warmth. And crucially, I absolutely love this pack. Look at this build quality. It's lightweight, incredibly tough, and handles everything I throw at it out here. They really focused on the stress points. This seam is bomber, and the feel of this fabric by the fire, it's just something else. Once the pod is secure in the fire, the snow will start melting immediately, giving us much needed drinking water. Look at what we have tonight. We've got a beautiful moose steak right here, some freshly dug potatoes and garlic, and a jar of I packed this pork fat with herbs to maximize the flavor and nutrients. We'll get this rendered down for a high-calorie meal. The rendered fat, infused with herbs, provides the essential fuel for a cold night. That smells absolutely incredible. This herb-infused fat is going to make the stew amazing. By rendering the fat and mixing it with dried berries and meat, you get a high-calorie survival ration that lasts. All right, next we need the flour for the bannock. All right, once the water is in, seal it up tight and start kneading. Get all that flour hydrated. Har hombre careful. Heat up, brother, and never wits. These are essential for morale. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper goes a long way when you're eating survival rations. The best way to store your spices on the trail is right here. Give it a good shake, pop it in the pouch, and you're ready for anything. This is the seasoned steel pan I was telling you about. Listen to that ring. I'll flip it over so you can see the other side. This is exactly what I needed out here. Absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10. For the next few nights, I'm thinking we do a big stew, maybe some smoked fish after that. That is good. These are the boots you want out here. Solid construction, warm, and completely waterproof. Listen to that. These are incredibly warm, even in deep snow. The toe cap here, as you can see, is reinforced for durability, which is essential out here. The fire! Get the snow quickly!
Not enough to thrive. He'll soon need to find a better spot along the shore.
Where the water runs deeper.
And holds bigger fish.
His needs are simple: food from the lake and a reliable fire to cook it on. The raft provides both.
And fresh water.
Which he travels to a nearby waterfall to collect.
Three weeks have passed after resting.
And with some strength regained, he decides it's time to relocate the raft, seeking a place that can sustain him in the months ahead.